get a sneak peek behind the curtain of the Optimum Personal Injury Mastermind. So what goes on at a mastermind? What do you do for those 3 days? What happens? Are you just selling them a bunch of different products? Like what is a mastermind? What is going on? Well, let me share my screen and I'll show you what goes on. So the first thing we do is on Friday night, we all arrive and we have dinner. We're having a knee-to-knee, big-time dinner with wine, a nice dinner. We're all bonding, getting to know each other. And what I'm really doing is I'm softening these guys up. I'm going to soften them up because Saturday morning is when we get to work. Saturday morning, cracking them open like an egg. So we have a dinner, we bond, we meet everyone, and we feel comfortable. Because on Saturday morning, one of the first things I tell them is it's all confidential. Anything we say in this room doesn't leave this room because we're going to be sharing a lot of things. That's the first night, right? We have a nice dinner. And then on Saturday morning, we get to work. So as you see here, the first thing we did is we did this exercise. And let me just show you this exercise. I gave him this little sheet on a personal level. So we start with personal. We break your personal life into 6 different categories: family, career, finances, emotional, spiritual, physical. And maybe one of these areas of your personal life is why you're stuck. Maybe your spouse doesn't believe in what you're doing. Maybe in your career, you feel like you could be doing more, you're not being treated fairly. Like, what's going on that gets you to feel stuck? Your finances. Are you constantly thinking about your lack of finances, your lack of investing, your lack? Well, when you focus on lack, guess what you get more of? You get more lack, okay? How are you with your emotions, right? Emotions with your staff, your family, your kids, maybe your parents, maybe your patients. Emotionally, how are you dealing with things that are happening in your life? And then spiritual, your relationship with your maker, your creator, whatever that is like. Where is it? We used to do this on a scale of 1 to 10, but now we just went deeper. I wanted them to explain. And then physical. Where are you physically with your body? Do you have a workout regimen? Are you being consistent? Because if you're not working at an optimal level, how can you help your patients at an optimal level? Okay. Now, everyone says, oh, these are all great. All 6, I'm fine with all of these. Bull, you're not. You're lying to yourself. If you want actual help in a mastermind, we got to get clear and you got to be honest. So that's the first step. And then we ask them some questions. What specific opportunities do you see in personal injuries that you haven't fully tapped into yet? And how could seizing those opportunities impact your business growth? We have doctors in there talking about hiring an interventional pain doctor. They've been talking about it for a year. Or a TBI protocol. They know they need to do it, but they're dragging their feet. They're procrastinating. We get you to open up and admit what opportunities are passing you by. So those are a few questions there. I'm just going to skip down to these final 2 questions. I don't want to go through all of it. But we asked them, if you could resolve one challenge in your business, one challenge, what is it and what impact would it have on your goals and plans for the future? And the doctor would write that out. And then the second question, what other particular aspect of your business has been a persistent challenge? A persistent challenge, what have you been talking about for a year that you still haven't figured out? And how do you envision its resolution influencing your business trajectory? Okay, so the doctor goes ahead and fills all that out. Well, then the accountability starts. I paired them up with another doctor. They exchanged their pages that they wrote on because I wanted the other doctor to explain it to the whole group. So if the other doctor was reading what you wrote and didn't fully understand, wasn't really clear, the other person made the doctor, or just said, hey, what does this mean? Tell me what you meant by this. I got to fill this in because I don't really know. You're not really clear here. So we broke up with accountability partners and we shared all our goals and with all the group. And that just opened up the rest of the discussion for the entire day, right? That's all I had to do. We didn't have an agenda, 9 a.m. to 9:50, 10 o'clock bathroom break. It's really organic. This is not a Mark Slater show. This is, what are your challenges? Where are you stuck? Where do you need help? And then we all talked about ways to help you, right? So in the middle of the day, we had lunch catered. This is a nice office here. We catered a lunch. You see there's coffee back there, almond milk, oat milk. There's all kind of beverages. And we're just masterminding. We're figuring out what the challenges are. And all these doctors are chiming in, sharing tips, resources, help. documents. We're all pointing to a screen because everything that's shared on my computer is hooked up to a big screen so that we can all see it. Okay, so that's a little peek behind the curtain of what goes on a Saturday. Now on Sunday morning, we have panel speakers. We have special guests. So this is Chris Connolly of Brain Cushion and Gary Martin Hayes, a well-respected PI attorney in the Atlanta market. Just real quick, this billboard, 1-800-WIN-WIN-1, Gary Martin Hayes, is on the exit going south when you exit to get to my house, and when you come north. He's got billboards on both exits. That's who spoke at the mastermind, so that you have an opportunity to ask. Gary Martin Hayes is a mover and shaker in the Atlanta market. He's actually teaching attorneys how to do a TBI protocol. That's Gary right here, talking about traumatic brain injury. So think about being in a room for 3 hours with Gary Martin Hayes and Chris Connolly of Brain Cushion. Chris has been doing research for TBI for 8 years now, and he's on the forefront. He has a company called Brain Cushion, but we don't have to go into that, where he hires medical neuropsychs to evaluate your concussion tests. In a chiropractic office, all TBI tests, FDA-approved tests, have to be interpreted by a medical neuropsych or a medical neurologist that meet the Daubert standard. Okay, so they did this 3.5 hour just talk with all the doctors, and that talk was recorded. And so the next day,
so the first criteria that
I posted in our private group. And in our private group is where you can find this video and watch it in case you needed to follow up or understand. He said something, but I missed what he said. I want to watch it again, so they can just watch it right here.
And this is essential. This is cool to know, because also that's what the defense is going to focus on, is mechanism of injury. So it's pretty cool, because they say that basically traumatic brain injury results from transfer of mechanical energy to the brain from external forces.
So he's talking about, this is the mechanism of injury that he's talking about for TBI. And he explained every single criteria. Number 1, if 1 is positive, you can go to 2, and then 3, acute symptoms, clinical examination, laboratory findings, a TBI protocol. And Chris created this. And the attorney, Gary Martin Hayes, was sitting right in front of him going, I wish every doctor would do this. If every doctor understood this and it landed on my desk, not only can I get that doctor's bill paid at 100%, I can get maximum policy limits. I can get a certified life care planner, and I can get a $1.3 million policy limits, because Chris Connolly knows how to do a TBI protocol, and all the doctors in this room are learning from the guy that knows how to do it better than any doctor in Atlanta. And you can sit there for 3 hours and ask him question after question after question. And that's the mastermind. We covered home exercises, and I posted them in the group. Here are the diagnosis codes for the impact test. That's the impact test that I recommend doctors get certified in. And here are the neuropsych testing. So when you have a neuropsych evaluate your patient, those are the codes that you use. That was covered in the mastermind. That picture of Gary Martin Hayes holding up, that's what he's looking through right there, that traumatic brain injury packet. Well, here it is right here. It's in our platform. Everything that was presented gets shared with the doctor, so they have everything that is presented at the mastermind. So that's what happened there on Sunday. And I record everything. I have a high-level videographer there that records every word that's said in our mastermind. So pretty powerful stuff. And then these guys go back and implement on Monday, right? This is a doc. He used pages 1347, 1349 for the diagnosis PDF, covers all the criteria. He used it in an attorney meeting yesterday. This is 2 days ago. So this mastermind ended on Sunday. Dr. McKeegan took this information and implemented it the day he got home. And he gave me a shout out. Thanks, Mark. So I just wanted to show that with you, the value of a mastermind. You take what you learn, and it's all recorded so you can review it. So it's not just going in one ear and out the other. Those videos are posted, and they live on that platform that these doctors can continually look at and communicate with each other and ask questions amongst each other and help each other out. That's a mastermind. It's about collaboration, cooperation, working together. A rising tide lifts all boats. Every single one of those doctors in this mastermind, some are now opening up their third, their fourth practices, getting interventional pain, which has been, they haven't been able to figure it out for years. And they just needed another doctor to say, hey, you're making it more complicated than it needs to be. Keep it simple. It's not that hard. And that guy who's already has an interventional pain doc in his practice is just going to help the other doctor this week and next week. And then when he runs into problems in week 2, he's going to figure out those problems by talking to the doctor in the mastermind, and then he'll move on. And then in week 4 and week 5, he's doing any better. Then he's going to have another challenge. Week 6, he can go back into the mastermind, ask the doctor more questions for interventional pain. This is what a mastermind is. It's about cooperation and growing together. You don't have to feel so all alone on your island anymore, because we are all in this together in the mastermind. So that's a quick peek behind the curtain. It really just happens organically. The doctors do these exercises. It really gets the conversation going. It opens up their mind to where they're having troubles and issues and what needs to be fixed. Sometimes it's personal. A lot of times doctors don't have business problems. They have life problems that show up in their business. So sometimes you can't just fix the business. You got to go back to the life problem, figure out what's going on at home, what your relationships look like, who's keeping you stuck, who's got the cap, on this bottle. Remove the cap, that bottle explodes. And that's what we do in the mastermind. And all these guys, a lot of them that signed up, I would say 80% of the people that were in the mastermind the first year signed up again for year 2. That's how much value they get and how fast they're growing by joining an injury-specific, high-ticket mastermind. So that's a little peek behind the curtain of the Optimum Personal Injury Mastermind. If you want more information about a mastermind, you can type mastermind below this video in the comments. I'll reach out to you and get on a phone call. It's not as much as you think it is. People talk about the price. You think it's $50,000, $100,000 for a mastermind. I'm telling you, if you can get one PI patient in the door every single month, this mastermind is for you. If you can't get one PI patient in a month, you're not ready for a mastermind. But there are some minimums. You have to be at a minimum revenue level, and you have to be at a minimum level of personal injury patient referrals. And the reason that I do that is I don't want all 10 of the doctors training one doctor in the room. Everyone's got to be at a certain level so that we can all help each other at the same, kind of like this, right? But not this, right? We can't have doctors up here training one person. It takes the value away from the higher level doctors. A peek behind the curtain of a live stream. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We produce a long form video every single week to help you in your personal injury journey, building your practice, getting more patients, creating more relationships, knowing how to communicate better, and making your office more marketable in the personal injury space. So like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. I'm Mark Slater with Prime Spine Consulting.